Over the last little while, I've had the opportunity to work with the new Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II, the latest flagship model from Olympus. I've got it right here. Beside it is the original, the EM1. Let's have a quick look around the camera, see its performance features, its physical features, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison and just talk a little bit about the features that I really like about the camera. Let's begin. I remember when I first saw the EM1 Mark II, I was struck by how similar it was in overall look to the EM1. And I suppose we should expect that, considering they do share the same lineage. So from the front, you really can't see too many differences. You will notice a few if you look at the side-by-side comparison in a minute. If we flip it up to the top, so that you can see that, again, really no layout changes here. You've still got the on-off switch. All the other buttons and dials and so on are in the exact same location as they were in the original. The only real difference here, and it's a nice one, is the inclusion of the custom settings on the mode dial. C1, C2, C3. They do come pre-programmed, however they're also very easy to set up. I never did use the MySet presets, and they're now gone, so I think a lot of photographers will be happy to see that. If we look at the back, there has been a few changes here. Button placement is a little different. The menu and the play button are now on top of each other. They used to be beside each other. The 2x2 switch has been reversed. It now switches from the left-hand side instead of on the right. And conveniently, it can be programmed to become the on-off switch, which I know a lot of photographers will be interested in. The most important change, however, on the back is the new articulating LCD. I was a little disappointed to see the flip-up screen gone because I really did like it. However, I also do a lot of vertical shooting. I like to shoot low, and now I don't have to lie down anymore to compose those shots. The articulating screen works beautifully there. Videographers will certainly be happy with the fully articulating LCD. If we look at the left, you've got your access covers here. So there's mic, headphones, HDMI, and USB. Very easy to open. All right. And very easy to seal back up again to maintain the incredible weather sealing that Olympus is known for. Turn it over onto its right. We've got a much larger access cover here, and that's because we've got dual card slots. 1, 2. And you can see that the labels face you, which is a nice change. They are easy to program so that you can record video on one card, images on the other, do a complete backup after you've shot, or have a duplicate card being written to while you're shooting. There are some other options as well in the menu. So having 2 card slots is a really nice change. Right. Finally, if we look at the bottom, of course you wouldn't expect to see too many differences here, but I do want to show you the new battery. So we have a much larger battery, higher capacity. I've been able to get roughly 1,000 shots per charge, and it does charge more quickly than the older battery. Okay. So there's a quick look at the body itself, but of course with a larger battery you're definitely going to need a different battery grip. And so give me a moment while I attach that. There you have it. Okay, we'll just have a look at it from the back. Still has your function buttons, your 2 dials at the top or the side at the moment, and you know, a lock switch. But most importantly for me is the inclusion of the arrow pad. That is a nice change on the Mark II. It was often very awkward to try to access the arrow pad over here. Now this one has it included. It makes the camera a little larger, but the grip is so comfortable that even with the larger lenses like the 40 to 150 or the 300 millimeter, you've got a really nice balanced feel to it with the larger lenses. Alright, so there you have it, a quick tour around the camera, including the new grip. Let's now have a look at the two cameras side by side. If we look at the cameras side by side, I've included the battery grip because I think most photographers are using the grip. You will see that the EM1 Mark II has a bit of a height gain compared to the EM1, but I really do like the feel of this camera in my hand. It definitely has a beefier grip, and it just really does feel well balanced in my hand. I tend not to use camera straps, and even with the larger lenses on it, nicely balanced. I never fear that it's going to slip out of my hand. It also has the more pronounced thumb grip at the back compared to the EM1. Let's now have a look at some of the internal features and performance. So there's the improvements on the outside. What about the inside? Well, Olympus has included a brand new 20.4 megapixel sensor. I've noticed a significant improvement in image quality, dynamic range, and most importantly for me, because I'm an astrophotographer, I want improved digital noise performance, and this one definitely delivers. With the EM1, I would really hesitate to go beyond 1600 ISO because of digital noise. With the EM1 Mark II, I'm regularly shooting at 6400 with no significant digital noise, and that's just looking at the JPEGs, so a real improvement there. As far as autofocusing goes, faster autofocusing, there are more active points. Each point has both phase detection and contrast detection. There's 121 active points, and you have 4 options for how you want those engaged. You can have all the points active, a 3x3 grid, single, and now a new 5-point cross, which I find I'm using a fair amount, especially with wildlife photography. It also has improved continuous autofocusing with tracking. A couple of weekends ago I was out in the bush on a fairly overcast, miserable day, and I was using the continuous autofocus with tracking with some mountain bikers that were coming towards me, and with the telephoto lens. And I found that it was able to maintain focus over longer distances than the EM1 with much sharper images. So that's really improved. The other thing that has improved is the in-body image stabilization. Olympus is already well known for the high-quality image stabilization that's built into the body. With the EM1, you got 4 stops of exposure value compensation. Now it's up to 5.5, so again, a significant improvement. The shutter has also improved. We still have both a mechanical and an electronic shutter. With the mechanical, it still tops out at 1/8,000th of a second, but at 18 frames per second in high sequential mode shooting. That's a significant improvement compared to the 10 frames per second with the EM1. The electronic shutter now will give you 1/32,000th of a second at 60 frames per second. Again, just an amazing improvement, 60 frames per second, right? The mechanical shutter is also incredibly quiet, definitely quieter than the EM1. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I'm out shooting wildlife, I don't even switch it to the electronic shutter because the mechanical is so quiet. So, there you have it. The EM1 Mark II, I find it to be a fantastic successor. I hate to admit it, but I rarely pick up the EM1 since I've gotten this. I'm carrying around the extra body in my bag, but this is such an amazing camera. I think Olympus has a real success on its hands.